6 decades. That could be a solution to rock slides that have hit this area over the past month. We're talking road closures and what NDOT is monitoring today.
Thank you, Ryan. Plus, a bill amends the statute of limitation for filing a criminal charge for sexual assault. We're going to have details on that and how an alleged victim of Bill Cosby supported it.
Also still to come, corruption charges have been levied on the governing body of soccer. How many were arrested and how far back the allegations go? We'll have that story and much more coming up for you on this May 27th, 2015.
You're watching News 4 Today, on your side, in high definition.
And hey, good Wednesday morning. Thank you so much for spending that morning with us. I'm Samantha Boatman, and it's the last half hour of News 4 Today. First half hour of mornings on Fox 11.
All right, excited to get you going here on this Wednesday, 6:31. We've got a lot to talk about, including a big overnight bombshell early this morning involving the governing body of soccer, FIFA, as it's well known. 6 top officials were arrested in a raid. Apparently this was a 3-year investigation, and they say corruption with FIFA has been going on for at least 20 years. We're going to be talking about that a little later on this morning.
Wow, taking a look back, too, you just think about how many years this went on and on and on, and finally getting uncovered.
You think about the money and the excitement that the World Cup brings. So you think a lot of these places perhaps are bribing officials, you know, to get their city named as the place that's going to be hosting the World Cup. A lot of people have had the same accusations against Olympic sites as well, most recently in Russia.
Yeah,
so
not good. We'll be
we'll
talking more about that throughout the show. Also get your forecast with meteorologist Tim Studebaker, who is not corrupt in any way. You
kind
okay?
of. Yeah,
All
I
right.
just pulled my microphone.
All right, we begin this half hour, though, with news out of the legislature, where it has been a busy session for lawmakers. So far, Governor Brian Sandoval has signed 189 bills into law this session. Those bills include some hotly debated measures. One is Assembly Bill 4. It removes geographic restrictions on winemaking in Nevada. It also requires that at least a quarter of the wine made in the state be produced, blended, or aged using fruit grown in Nevada, or be subject to restrictions. Another big talker was Assembly Bill 212. This one amends the statute of limitations for filing a criminal charge for sexual assault from 4 years to 20 years after the offense.
And the signing of that bill, extending the statute of limitations, was witnessed by an alleged victim of comedian Bill Cosby and her attorney, famed attorney Gloria Allred. They held a news conference of their own in Carson City in support of the bill. Allred said she hoped that the new law sends a message to sexual predators that victims will have greater access to the legal system.
We hope that other states now will look to Nevada and say, we need to make a change in our states too, to be more protective of rape victims and less protective of sexual predators.
The bill initially aimed to completely eliminate the statute of limitations for sexual assault cases. Again, the amended bill extends the number of years from 4 to 20 years after the alleged crime is committed.
Well, we are quickly approaching the season, or the peak season of fire season, and many say automatic aid would speed up response times for our local fire departments. And yesterday, city and county officials came together to talk about making that a reality. Senate Bill 185 has already been approved by state senators, but City of Reno officials have not been in support of the bill, saying the recommendations made during Monday's legislative session don't go far enough. The legislation would mandate automatic aid in the region, which means the closest fire engine to the site of an emergency would respond regardless of jurisdiction.
They've done it before. We had this before 3 years ago. They're ready to go. It's in place. This can be done immediately.
Now, no decision was made, and both sides will meet again on June 15th to continue to discuss the issue.
All righty, 6:34. Let's get your weather on the floors with meteorologist Tim Studebaker. How about a quick peek outside? We still in Tahoe there? That is a welcome sight to still see snow on the mountains. This is a shot our photographer Kosik Bakhta. Is that Fallen Leaf Lake hidden there, or is that just a shadow? Must be a shadow.
I think it's a shadow.
I guess lakes aren't at a 45-degree angle.
Yeah, I've never seen one like that.
That's a really good point. Here we are trying to figure it out, and it's on a slant. You'd think it would be running right down the mountain.
Yes, now we do the big reveal.
There it is. Gorgeous
we know that lake,
stuff.
don't we?
We do, we do. Gorgeous Tahoe up there. Beautiful blue water, beautiful blue sky, too. It's pretty clear out there for western Nevada right now, but we have some showers and thunderstorms pushing through the eastern side of the state already. That's where the best chances are today. We could get hit isolated showers here on the western side, but isolated downpours are possible as well. So it's one of those all or nothing days. If you happen to get under a downpour today, well, you get under a downpour. But if you happen to get dry conditions all through the day, which is what most of us are going to see, then you don't see anything. So pretty much isolated for western Nevada. Much better chances out toward the eastern side of the state. In fact, there are some thunderstorms already out there, some lightning strikes being detected already with some of these cells. Up to the north of Ely within White Pine County, also in Lander and Eureka counties, we are looking at some shower and thunderstorm activity pushing through. A particularly heavier shower or thunderstorm about to approach Austin there along Highway 50. So if you're watching us from the Austin area, get ready in just a few minutes. It looks like you do have a shower on the way in, and it is particularly heavy at this moment. Could die down a little bit before it hits you, but get ready for wet roads there at Austin either way. Very isolated activity out there for the eastern side of the state, becoming more scattered later today. Isolated showers and thunderstorms possible here on the western side of the state later, but mostly dry for many of us. 48 in Carson City, 50 in Reno, 54 in Dayton, 37 in South Lake Tahoe, going for the 70s and 80s today with sun and clouds and mostly dry, but an isolated shower not out of the question coming up on the 7-day forecast when we reach 90 degrees. Back to you.
All right, Tim, thanks. Whew, things are really heating up. All right, let's see how your Wednesday morning commute is doing so far with Trooper Dave Gibson from NHB. Good morning, Trooper Dave.
Good morning there, Sam. And to let you guys know that currently we are accident-free around the Reno-Sparks area. And as we know, that commuter traffic, especially around the Spaghetti Bowl, all the way down to Moana Lane, is going to be slow. And we do have some intermittent lane changes out there with some ramp closures. So please be cautious and maybe look for an alternate route. So other than that, please buckle up, limit those distractions. Make sure to move over for those emergency vehicles. Watch out for those motorcyclists and bicyclists out there. Make sure you use caution around all those crosswalks, and all minor accidents are able to be moved to the shoulder. Please do so that we can keep that traffic running smoothly out there. With that being said, you guys be safe. Have a great morning, and I'll send it back to you at the desk.
All right, Trooper Dave, thanks. Well, there's been a history of rock slides on U.S. Highway 50 around Lake Tahoe. This year, however, officials say it's just unusual just how many rocks have ended up on the road at Cave Rock on the east side of the lake. NDOT officials are now closing one lane of the highway to inspect the area around Cave Rock Tunnel. That's where Ryan Kern joins us now to explain the possible solution to the problem. Good morning to you, Ryan.
Yeah, good morning, Sam. Good morning, Bill. This tunnel behind us here at Cave Rock was built in 1931 with the second one added in the 1950s. Well, in 2015, 6 decades later, there could be additions happening again. But before we get ahead of ourselves, let's talk today. At 9 a.m. this morning, this westbound tunnel right here, if you're traveling from Carson to South Lake Tahoe, it'll be closed. NDOT officials and engineers are going to be looking at the land above and around the tunnel where rocks have been following, Sam, as you said, an unusual amount since February. That's when storms loosened the area and laser imaging began. That's the testing that NDOT officials and engineers have been doing. Well, now, as we get closer to June, dry than it was in February, so they're going to continue laser image testing again today to see if there's any differences between how the land was then and how it is now several months later. Also what they're doing today, they're going to close the road and have not made it onto the road. This brings us back to adding on to the now, it could be decided that this is next year. Now, this is, of course, funding dependent. Nothing's been decided yet. Today is just made for monitoring. They're going to look at that. But because some of the rocks are falling on top of the existing tunnel, if they build out the tunnel, NDOT officials tell us that means more rocks have the potential to land on top of the tunnel as opposed to on the road, making it dangerous for drivers. Now, again, today is just a continuation monitoring this roadway and the area around it to decide if that's the right route or if there's any other things that they can do. Now, as far as today goes, you can expect half-hour delays at the most if you're traveling either from South Lake Tahoe or from Carson City. This westbound lane will be reduced, will be closed down, and the other direction will be reduced in both directions. So again, 30-minute delays are expected. But that's just for today. No delays tomorrow. It's just a one-day event, and they will continue monitoring and maybe make a decision coming up here in the near future. Reporting live in Lake Tahoe, Ryan Kern, News 4.
All right, Ryan, thank you. Not a bad place to be stuck for half an hour. We appreciate it. Well, back here in Reno, Stanford Way and McCarran Boulevard is going to be closed for about 4 weeks starting today. Now, Stanford originally closed for a road widening project but was reopened last month. However, officials say that drivers are simply ignoring the signs that prohibit exiting onto McCarran. They say it's causing some safety concerns, so they are closing the road. You'll still be able to access Stamford from Gregg Street. Tim?
All right, thank you, Bill. Well, deadly flooding continues in Texas. Coming up, we're going to take a look at the situation there. We'll be back.